set up for video or anything?
Wait, hold on. We don't have all the boxes. It's only your face.
Yeah, Matt's driving. We're live already. I don't have anything set up for this. I don't know what I'm doing. The whole weekend.
Well, I'll mute myself. I'm literally I'm like 3 minutes away. So
I'm still fumbling around. Hang on,
good.
we're
That
almost
might
there.
give me time.
Hang on, wait. Oh, here we go.
Adam, don't forget to hit the record button.
I already got that figured out. All right, now we got that out of the way. I can hear the music still playing. All right, now we got that out of the way.
How is everyone?
How is all the people watching on a Monday night?
Sounds like there's a delay. Oh, I know why.
Yeah, I know why too. Turn your volume down on your thing you're watching.
What are you talking about? Nothing happened.
All right, how's everyone doing? Monday night football.
Everyone.
We should have done the dun 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 Monday night football stuff.
No, it's too late.
I keep forgetting about that. Look at that snazzy. Oh, so it took all of 35 seconds for someone to mention the jersey.
Really?
Yeah, Christine did already.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Of course you did. Should we show the back?
We should show the back.
Okay. Ta-da. I mean, what else am I going to put on this thing?
That's hilarious.
The $90.
You could probably put Gianni's name and then the number 1 or something like that.
I don't know if I could bring myself to do that.
That is a big commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like Gianni that much.
Ouch.
Same.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
am I alone in that boat then?
No, Gianni's cool. We love Gianni.
Of course. We're just joking.
Well,
we pick on our friends.
Well, you guys are.
Yeah. I mean, Gianni and Matt wanted each other to be fired off their shows, so I don't know where that ended up.
That's true.
But
hey, it's a funny thing. Look, you're doing the 40th. I'm doing the 30th.
It's not even the right team.
But it's Harrisburg.
It's not even the right team.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
So what happened this weekend?
Not much.
No, not much.
Spent some time recording some videos for my other YouTube channel. Matt is he changed his name to Currently Driving, but with the way that Zoom streams live, it won't show his video at all, even though he has his name set. So we can see it on ours. Matt, I wonder if you set a profile picture in Zoom.
Just not right now.
Just not right now.
Next time. For the future.
For sometime.
I don't know how to do that.
It sounds like you're not driving anymore.
It sounds like
if we hear the toilet flush, we know where you are.
Oh, don't do that.
So I worked at a place that had a number of mid-level managers that loved to take their phones into the bathroom with them and sit in the stalls on calls. And I had a coworker that whenever they did that, he would go around to all the toilets and flush them all at the same time, one after another. One of the managers in there actually followed a guy into the bathroom. The guy went in the stall and the guy kept talking to him the entire time.
That's weird.
I'm like, that there's no way. No, not a chance.
That's weird.
So we're just kind of killing time waiting for Matt to get on video so we can really start this thing.
Yeah, so we can really kick off and talk about this lovely weekend and the matches that were or were not.
Thanks, guys, put me on the spot here.
No, we got stuff to kill. So
well, before we
All right,
Before
hang
we get
on.
into that, we could talk about M3 real quick. I don't know if you guys
Go
saw
for it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go nuts.
The M3 there was a match. It was actually a pretty good match. It was the Sunflowers FC or Sunflower States FC versus Omaha Kings. It ended up on paper, on paper, it looked to be pretty even, but then as the actual game went through, Omaha Kings just look good, man. They look good. They ended up winning 8-2, and it was a solid victory. Well, I mean, their goalkeeper. I mean, we don't have to say the name. We all know at this point.
So, do you think that he did that because
This is Visa.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
100%.
exactly what I was thinking. Because
100%.
Heiner's cool. I was always a fan of his playing.
I mean, he had a game. He had a game. He sure did have a game. And I mean, honestly, when we talk about it later, at some of these games, the goalkeeper is the difference. And I mean, it's not to say anything against Sunflower because they had a pretty good amount of chances, but it's just when you have a top goalkeeper like that.
Right. Well, and I mean, I could see him playing. There's a lot of teams and there's a lot of starting jobs. I could see him near the top of the M2 or top half of the MASL 1. I think that's
Yeah,
probably pretty fair.
I could see that.
To have him in the M3 is like, holy crap. Is that a bottle of maple syrup?
No, it is not. This is Jackson Morgan Southern Cream Liqueur made with Tennessee whiskey.
Oh,
Shameless plug.
I have Starburst water, lemon.
Oh yeah, from last week. You went yellow?
I got 5 different flavors of it. Cherry strawberry, which I haven't had, fruit punch, which I've had, blue raspberry, which looks like something out of like Star Wars, and then this lemon. And this tastes like it tastes more like, remember those lemon head candies?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Tastes more like that than a Starburst, but it is actually really good. It's
like
no sugar, no calories, whatever. It's pretty strong, so I gotta like drink a bunch down and then water it down and everything. But
that smells so good. All right.
It's also good. But yeah, it's actually interesting that we're talking about how his visa issue is. That could be a really good way for teams to keep their visa players while they're having visa issues. So take for example, let's say San Diego or I don't know, Milwaukee started an M3 team while they're dealing with their visa issues. They could have easily fielded them on the M3 side because they're amateur team.
yeah, the problem is that the visa guys are really stuck, and I hate what like they're able to live here legally, but they can't get paid to do anything. Well, how do
Right.
you live and not get paid? And I mean, and especially like I always bring up Josh Lemos. Both of he and his wife are Canadian, so they both had to go back. So it wasn't a situation where like she could work and they just kind of saved for a while. I don't know how you do that. You can't make any money, and you can't make any money illegally, and which kind of leads to, well, do we do things under the table and kind of crazy, or do we have to move back home? And a lot of the players just like, I can't stay here. I got to move back home. So
Right. I would imagine some teams help them out in some ways. I would imagine if let's say in the future that's something that teams decided to do, I would assume the way to keep them is to say, hey, we'll give you living expenses or something,
but can they? Are they legally allowed to? I mean, they probably will anyway, but
Well, that's what I'm saying is like the money never has to hit their hand. They could literally just be paying their rent.
oh, this is just my friend staying with me in my extra house.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad idea for those teams that can afford it.
Yeah.
But
so there's some news that happened out in Milwaukee today. The Admirals AHL team, who plays in the same arena as the Wave, just opted out of the season. They were trying to start her on December 1st, and then they're like, well, we'll try to start her on January 1st. And the press release is almost the exact same as what the Wave put out, where it's due to COVID and finances, and they can't play without fans. They usually edge out the Wave by about 1,000 fans a game, although that gap has been getting getting closed down and closer. So it's basically almost the same exact situation where they can't do it. There's no TV deals. Every once in a while I'll get something on a TV show somewhere, maybe even a Fox Sports. I think I've seen it over the years, or like NBCSN, but for the most part, it's no TV. It's all through the door, and they're affiliated with an NHL club, which everyone thought the reason they would be able to play would be because the NHL clubs would be able to help fund them, but no, it's not going to happen. Now they are one of the stronger teams in the league, so they'll be back, same as the Wave, but they're out for the season.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. It's the Utica Comets announced today that they're in.
Yeah.
And they are the parent club of the Vancouver Canucks. And this season they're also going to be with the St. Louis Blues. So it sounds like they're going to have home games at the Odd. So I mean that's good news for Utica fans.
Well, there's no hockey team here, so I can't report that. Thanks, guys.
By the way, this stuff is really good.
It looks like you're drinking like clarified butter or something.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely doesn't taste like clarified butter. It tastes like a creamsicle.
I would drink clarified butter, I think. Well, not clarified, the regular, just melted. Because I think clarified is taking the color out of it. That's the clarified part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Jay, I've seen Admirals games on Channel 18 is our local CW network. If you guys have that out by you.
Do they play any Wave games? Do you know if that's ever happened?
Not in the recent times.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be on local TV, and they used to be on Time Warner Cable had a Milwaukee local channel. They used to be on those, but not in MASL era, and not even since. Yeah, it's been a while.
Before we dive into the games, I found this little cool thing going on in KC where it's a Twitter page that was started to cover KC, the NWSL KC team, and all the soccer teams over there, which is pretty cool. I thought it was cool that someone was doing that, and then they also included the indoor with it.
Well, that's weird. It's weird that someone would be doing that.
Someone.
Wait. Kansas City, NWSL. Do we know anyone? No. All right. I don't know anyone. No.
It's Jeff.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I gotta follow up on all that because I think he said, when did he start? A little like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have like their draft in early February and they start playing in March or whatever it is. And they don't have a brand, a team name, colors, kit, any of that. So they have to basically start everything from scratch. So he's going to be a busy boy for a while.
Yeah, of course he is.
I said, as soon as you're not busy, you can come on the show now. He's like, okay, we'll see you in November. And this was like last week. So
the Kansas City, they should be the Kansas City pulled pork sandwiches.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
The MASL should get someone like that to run their social media.
No.
It's such a crazy idea. Why would anyone, who would have thought of that? That's crazy, Alec. Crazy talk.
Wait, who said that? Ban him.
Yeah. So I'll mention this a little bit. We had an instance of the ban hammer today. When I started the group, actually Matt couldn't because his phone didn't work. So I actually clicked the button saying start group, put it as Matt's original group. You okay over there, man?
Yeah, it's kicking in.
Oh man.
We need a corn dog moment on that face.
Yeah, we do.
Matt and I kind of agreed that you could talk about anything. Like we wanted to say like no politics, no religion, no like abortion debates and that kind of crap, but anything else like, hey, my band has a new song. Matt's like, hey, Hannah starred in the play, or anything like that is fair game because we wanted this to be like a family, neighborhood friendly. And I don't want to say family place like you can't say fuck a lot because there's one.
Like I just did.
Wow.
But like
was one.
just we want to feel like a family because we this sport brings everyone together. The whole weird corn dog thing, I don't know how, I still don't even know how that happened, but it brought everyone together, and that this was kind of an extension of that, where we could talk about soccer and whatever else we wanted to. Well,
Yeah.
today we had someone that decided to just troll me, and I'm not going to put up with that. And I tried to discuss it with him in the posts, and then I tried to reach out and discuss it by a private message, and he just kept at it. And I'm like, you know what? If you're obviously not going to contribute to this forum in a good way, we don't need you. So he's gone. Now that's not to say that if you don't agree with me, I'm going to ban you. So don't anyone feel like that. But if you're willing to discuss it with me, I mean, as I said in the post, you know, the owner of the Wave, Mike Zimmerman, tells me to fuck off all the time, and I'm waiting for him to hit the chat and, you know, like on cue. But we don't agree on some things. We've definitely disagreed with a lot of things, and we still can have a civil discussion about it. And you know, whenever we get to see each other again, you know, shake hands, have a drink together, that kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to say, get that out, you know, get that out of there. I'm stalling so we can talk about the weekend games and that fiasco. I don't know how we start with that.
So let's start with Dallas and Comets, just because they didn't have a back to back. We'll start with them, and then we'll work our way.
All right. So great stream. If anyone happens to watch this, the sideline Laura, I think her name was,
Yeah.
her mic was way too hot up front, but they fixed that somewhere in the first quarter or so. But great camera angles.
I miss Matt Thornton.
I miss Matt
Not-
Thornton.
Not gonna lie, I miss Matt Thornton.
I don't think Freddie's name is Mujan. Now, Freddie, if I'm wrong, let me know, but I don't think it's Mujan. Like, it's not Asian, it's Brazilian Canadian. Whatever, if that's a thing. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Oh, of course, it's a thing.
But yeah, no. So the game there, that was really weird because all of a sudden Dallas is scoring these goals, and I missed all first three goals when they first happened because I was still running around getting things set up and finishing dinner and things like that. And then I saw all the replays on them, and all three of the first goals were like grave mistakes on the defense.
Yes.
Like Kevin Ellis kicked himself in the face and scored a goal, and that was actually Lipe's first goal because
That takes talent.
it does. I mean, I probably could do it without trying. If I tried, I could probably do or if I tried to kick myself in the face, I'd probably do a sweet bicycle kick. But if I tried to do what he did, I'd probably kick myself in the face.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, obviously, Kevin Ellis is not that kind of player that's going to do that. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
And then defense just not hard enough of a pass, and it just kind of floated out there. And I mean, the keeper there was no way he could stop that. And then Neto got stuck out in the corner and just basically got beat.
Mhm.
So I looked at those goals and I'm like, holy crap, KC dug themselves a hole. But I also know KC, especially watching them in the Central Cup, could come back. And sure enough, I don't think that
even
game
in
was
the
as
first
close
quarter,
as- What's that?
even in the first quarter, they started to establish themselves right away, as opposed to what happened in the Central Cup where it was a slow start. Like right away, they established themselves. I mean, I think they only put one goal away in the first quarter, or sorry, two goals.
It was 2. It was 3-2 at the end of 1.
Yeah, but the thing was, like, Dallas had the beginning where they were just putting shots away, and then KC just found their footing, and put 11 on frame. 11 on frame in the first quarter. That's how they didn't end up 3-3 in the first quarter. I don't know. But then, like, the rest of the game was a little slow, except that last quarter, which was wicked.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious the Central Cup helped them a lot.
Oh yeah,
Because they didn't, and Dallas too.
yeah, for sure.
The
It was a
other
good game.
the other thing seemed to start a lot slower. The thing that we won't mention for a little bit, but I think KC, other than those three, it's like those three goals. It's, you know, as a Green Bay Packer fan, there were always like these trap games, and they would go in and they'd be like, you know, 11 wins on the season. They go into Detroit, who's won 2. and you're always like, okay, what kind of weird shit's gonna happen here? And sure enough, they fumble the opening kickoff or
Yeah.
throw a pick six in the first 3 plays or some stupid shit, and then the next thing they fumble, and all of a sudden they're down 2 touchdowns 5 minutes in the game, and that's kind of what I looked at it as. And I'm glad that KC was able to get their acts together. And I know a lot of people have said, how do you do like the player coach thing? Leo obviously had things well under control.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his assistant coach helps a lot.
Yeah.
From what I slightly can hear and see, he's very vocal and very present when Leo's on the field.
Who is that this year? I know they changed because it was.
It's Stokich.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because
Yeah.
it was Matingu last year.
Yeah. I think they announced it when he retired, right? When he forcefully retired himself.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But Stokich has been a captain, leader, basically a coach on the field like Leo's been for the last 10 years.
Right.
So that makes sense. And I think it's a good transition. I liked when we talked to Ian about Coach Jules going from player to coach. At first my thoughts are, wow, I don't know if as a player how guys would react to that, because it was like they're equal and now it's like their boss. It's like in a office, you work with someone who's sitting next to you and then the next day is your boss. You know, how do you act like that? And if you're professional, it's not a problem. And
Right.
I think it's actually better in sports like this because they know what the guy's about. They
Mhm.
know how he acts and he's looking for. And now he can kind of take a step back, and hopefully he's been in kind of a natural leadership role to begin with. But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, being a captain and everything.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys noticed in the chat from the after the game, Kansas City fans thought this was an easy victory. I'm just going to throw this out there, Kansas City fans. Pump the brakes just a little bit. It was not an easy game for you. You showed a few weaknesses defensively, which I think we'll get into later on, that will definitely be exploited this week. Hint, 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 who I'm picking this week. But yeah, I think it was a great game, and Dallas definitely showed in the first quarter
A lot of
that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're a young team, inexperienced. So I mean, I see good things from Dallas, and it was great to see Kansas City come back. So
Yeah, I think with KC, the biggest fear for me going forward for them is just when they get caught on the back foot with their defense or when they make a mistake, they tend to foul. And it's not intentional. It's not intentional at all. It's just that they're trying to rush back because they're typically not in that position where they're chasing. They're typically in a position where they're in control. And that's a good thing, but they need to realize like when they are on that back foot, not to rush in, because I think it was McDonald that he had that blue card for just that ridiculous tackle. I mean, they could have not gave him the blue card, but it was just late when he got there. That's all it was. So I mean, those are the situations with another team that's high pressure or quick on the attack. It's going to be tough.
yeah, 25. It was 25-15 fouls. Kansas City had 25.
I saw that.
Like, unreal. And I'm just going to throw this out there for 5 seconds. John Sosa was on the field. Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I mean,
so it's funny. The first 7 goals between both teams were defensive mistakes.
Yes.
And then I think the 8th goal was Sosa got burned.
Mm-hmm.
And then KC just lit it up. But it was just, it's, and I think that's, I hope for both teams' sakes, that's just an early season, first game jitter kind of thing, get everything figured out.
Yeah.
Because if there's that many mistakes during the season, that's going to be a problem.
Well, going into this week, Kansas City better fine tune that, or else.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a second.
We'll discuss
two last points. Dallas, I think Dallas's biggest weakness, obviously besides the defense, because they're a little shaky in the back, is actually their goalkeeper. I think Juan is a little off starting this season. I know he was on the fence about coming back because he said it in one of the interviews with Scott, but you could definitely tell he's a little bit slower this year. I mean, that's really what made the difference at the end of the day because Neto he had a great game in my eyes. He had a great game. He had a saving percentage of 0.688 and Juan was 0.588. I mean that is the difference. 3 goals, the difference maker. So I think Dallas, if they can fix that, it's not like they don't have a backup or it isn't like Juan can get better. It's just they need to really focus on that area. I think they'll be better because I said it in the Central Cup. I don't feel comfortable with Juan. If I was a defender, I would not feel comfortable with Juan behind me.
That's tough. Yeah.
So would you? So then that brings up. I mean, there's a goalkeeper that's literally half an hour away that plays for a team that isn't playing this season.
Does he have a visa?
That's the question of the day.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that, or else I would have done some research.
I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like Pollo Cortez would be a great backup.
That would be. He would be perfect. But see, the thing was, I think he's being he's talking to another team, from what I heard.
Which, yeah, that's yeah, that should happen because he's definitely good enough.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever team picks him up, that's a great pickup.
Oh, he's an American citizen.
Oh.
Okay, then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, Dallas would be a great place for him. Ontario, I think, would be a great place, especially
half
with
his games. He could stay in Dallas area.
yeah. So both of those places would be great for him. I think either Dallas or Ontario.
I think Dallas too. And Brad just said combine that with a young team makes it tough to win against experienced teams. There's only so much that Freddie and Lipe are going to be able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, there's basically three or four guys who were taking all of the shots and all of the passes. And you have to have depth to be able to survive in that.
I mean, there's a lot of like good signs like Nelson, Powell, Scott still hasn't found his form yet. I mean, granted, he's just coming in from outdoors, so he's probably not going to find himself. He's a good.
I like Quintana.
Quintana is good, but he's starting like his form now compared to his form last season. It's real slow. He's gotten slower. His touch is a little bit slower, and I get it. They're just coming into the season, so that's going to pick up. But
and how much has it changed because they probably didn't have anywhere near as much training,
right?
You did previous seasons, even one in goal. So I'm wondering how much that plays in. We'll find out in the next couple games here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Definitely, these two teams are really good to look out for. But we can move on to. We're
okay. We've avoided it long enough. It's been almost a half.
You want to talk about the second game?
Let's start with the first. Let's end it on a good note at least.
Well, okay, if that's how you want to look at it. So everyone knows about the broadcast issues. Everyone knows what we've said about the broadcast issues.
Yes.
I'm staring at my notes, trying to form my words here in my head. Because originally this was going to be the F-bomb show, but I've cooled down a little bit. But Saturday night was the first time I have actively hated watching indoor soccer. Mm-hmm. I did not enjoy the game at all. Did not enjoy the experience at all. And it just angered me to the point where, and I don't want to make this all about me because I've done most of the talking for the half an hour, but we're going to make this about me for a second. I need to step away a little bit from my passion level, not my involvement, my passion level with the game. So I have asked the MASL for a refund. I got some bullshit standardized legalese. Oh, we're working to blah, 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 and we'll be in touch and blah, blah, blah kind of response. I'm going to get a refund on the season pass and I will buy games when I want. My plan going into the season, especially with things that the three of us have been talking about doing, like the team of the week and all those things, were I'm going to watch every single game because it's winter. I hate winter. We're not going to any Wave games, so I can't. It's not like I have an excuse to miss a game. And COVID's still here, so it's not like we have anywhere to go. So I was just going to stay in and watch all the games, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll probably watch all the free ones, and I'll pick and choose paid games to watch, and I'll just pay on a per game basis. But if you Florida me, I'm not paying for your stream. If you pull the shit that Florida pulled, and what pisses me off the most about Florida is they have spent more on players the last 2 years than anyone, and they've had the worst stream that I can remember in MASL history for 2 or 3 years. What that tells me is they don't give a shit about their fans. They don't care. And there's a million excuses. We had whoever it was in one of the posts that were like, oh, well, this is new to them. No, fuck that. This is 2. This is not new to them. Actually, that might have been 3. That was 3. They've been doing streams for 5 years. Oh, well, COVID, they haven't had time. Bullshit. They've had since March. They put on a good stream in March or February, or whenever their last game was. Their streams were one of the top 10. I mean, that's not saying much in a 17-team league, but it was one of the better ones. They had decent video. They had good broadcasters. It was good. So I don't understand what the issue was. There's no excuse for it. And, Brad said more than in 5 words than what I just said in 3 minutes, but he just said Florida stream equals embarrassment. Enough said. But for me, it touched me more because I go out of my way to try to be passionate about this game. And for me to be like insulted like that by one of the teams that's probably going to win the championship, and that now has one of my, friends, Ian, on it, Chad and Drew, all former Wave players, and there may be more. It just irritated me beyond belief. So I didn't watch the Sunday game. I was down here in my office doing YouTube video recording. I recorded YouTube videos for 6 hours. And now I got to edit 6 hours worth of videos.
That's
There you go.
That's a lot. But I did watch the game Saturday night. If it wasn't for free, I don't know what I would have done, because in my eyes, when I turned the Florida game off in the third quarter on Saturday, I was done. That was it. I was like, fuck this league. I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm keeping count for Christine.
That's fine.
Like, is it 5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Somebody else keep count. I'm not even gonna bother. And it was, like as a former video gamer, a rage quit, throw the controller across the screen or across the room, that's where I was, because I just actively did not like any part of that broadcast, and it ruined the experience for me of being able to watch someone that I consider a friend play for a new team. So I don't know if I'll watch any more Florida games. If Florida's in the playoffs, which I can't imagine they won't be, I don't know if I'll watch the playoffs. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to just back away from my passion level and my involvement level. I'm still doing shows. We'll still talk about the games, but it may be, yes, Alex saying being the first stream of the season made it that much worse. And absolutely.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
think it would have been any team putting that out would have been bad, but there's a lot of ill will towards Florida as a team from players, owners, coaches, fans all around the league, because they think they did the New York Yankees way of just buying themselves a team. And they did it last year, and now they did it even more in free agency in this year. And for them to just, and I know I'm repeating myself here, but for them to just put out that bad. And then what tipped it off for me was hearing that fucking production guy say they're lucky they even have a picture, clear as day. The only words through 2.5 quarters of the game that we heard clear as day was they're lucky they even have a picture. So yeah, fuck you, producer guy. And that's what I'm going to say about that. So that said, I don't know what happened in the game. I missed all the goals. I saw St. Louis's first goal. I was busy chatting and typing on the phone and pacing and throwing my controller across the room to see any of the Florida goals. And then I turned it off in the middle of the third quarter. I actually heard when they got the guy on, but then it was like arena volume versus the announcer volume. I think his name is, somebody told me his name. His name is Brian. I tried to reach out to him in the first or second quarter, but I couldn't find him on Twitter to just say, dude, no one can hear your audio. Like, just pack your shit up and go home, because it's not going to matter. Like, you're wasting your time here. So that's my rant.
I will say this. I was 100% disappointed. I'm pretty sure everyone knows how I felt. I mean, I put it out there. I put it out there 100%. And my point, literally, I posted after the game was teams should go on a pregame show to fix these things. And Dallas did it before I even posted that. But then the next game, Florida did it. Florida did it. And the next game was like night and day.
I would hope so.
It was literally night and day. And I like take the time to think about that. And I'm like, how is it possible in less than 24 hours you fixed it that much? It obviously goes to show you that you didn't prepare for the first game.
Not at all.
You just said, whatever, let's do it.
They probably walked in 10 minutes before kickoff. We're like, okay, let's see what this does. What's this button do? You know?
Exactly.
And there's
what you did on the field, obviously you prepared. But what you did as far as the entertainment value and how you engage with your fans, you didn't prepare. You did not.
And I'm sure the league kind of stepped in and said, I'm going to use one of your F-bombs. And they probably said, what the fuck are you guys doing? Right. Like, people are paying to watch this, and you can collectively do it. Because I'm going to go on a little rant about Florida here in a second.
Over under on the F-bombs is 73, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. All right. Fuck. There we go.
Oh my.
So
it's going to be a nightmare to edit.
I think the league kind of stepped in and said, guys, what are you doing? People are paying to watch this. I mean, and you put out this crap, and I'll be honest, I didn't watch. I muted it. I watched the game, but I muted it because I knew I was going to get either a lot of like indoor stadium noise, and it just wasn't worth it. So I muted it.
Well, then the fucking the chicken dance song came on.
Oh my God, that killed Adam.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wait, when did that happen? Because now I have to watch that.
Whenever I posted, I'm like, this chicken dance song is the perfect song for this game. So later on,
it was like 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, later on, Huff messaged me. He's like, dude, I'm cracking up at your comment because that's the exact same thing I said to my girlfriend. Because she said from the other room, like, why is the chicken dance song on? He goes, no, it's perfect for this game. So Alex said, didn't the next game end up being free?
Yes.
So
I think that was a mistake, though.
I think it was too, yeah.
So, okay, so we got the first game, complete clusterfuck. The second game, we'll call it perfect. I mean,
it was really good.
It was really good. It was really good.
The sideline issue was a thing, but whatever.
They had a pregame show. Their halftime show was perfect. You could hear it perfectly fine. I could finally hear Acosta perfectly fine, and
If we knock a couple points off for the fact that I've never ever seen a 10 out of 10 game, I'll give them a 7 out of 10, being a very, very good 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fine.
On that broadcast.
I can accept that.
Only because like for me, like audio is a big thing. Because her mic was crackling really, really, really bad.
Yeah, it was bad at one point.
But the Florida thing for me, so I put it on my TV, and I have a 55-inch 4K TV, and the frame rate mismatch, you probably won't notice this as much on smaller screens. It'll look not right. Like, it won't look choppy or laggy. It'll just look not right. Like almost like the Wichita games were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a frame rate mismatch. But on a big TV like that, and not like a 55-inch TV is a giant TV. It was $300 or whatever.
I mean, but it's a big. It's you could see it.
It gave me headaches. And I remember Cedar Rapids used to have a lot of problems with that. And the way their lines were, their lines were always like bright white on the screen. And I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, I can't even look at that because I'm gonna have like an epileptic seizure and I don't have epilepsy.
They fixed their video in the second game. Like it was.
I would hope so. Again, I mean,
well, right, of course, you would hope so. You would hope it would be a night and day situation. And I mean, it's great that they did that. It just would have sat better with, I think, all of us as fans. Not like we're here to call you out and to hold you accountable. And like, hey, if I attack the whole league, sorry, but the league at the end of the day has to hold the teams responsible. So if we as fans have to address the league and then the league addresses the team, obviously we're going to say something to the teams. I'm not one to shy. I'll tag them. I'll comment directly. Them directly. I don't care. My thing is, you guys should have prepared for that game and not given us that crap, because it was crap.
It was the first game out of the gate. It's like new season. Everyone's excited. And then what the fuck happened? Like you chicken dance 10 minutes into the game and you got some guy going, oh, they're lucky they have a picture.
You're right. Yeah. Hey, by the way, production guy, go fuck yourself.
Oh.
So
I think we're
let's tag on to this because there's an owner and let's call Soccer Sam out here. I love Sam's enthusiasm. I love his passion for the game. I met him in KC. Great guy, great person, would love to hang out with him. Sam, I think you're completely wrong in your comments about how all games should be pay-per-view. But take that aside, your comments on it's only $8. I just spent $7 on a smoothie. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. And the idiots over on Off the Wall talking about, oh, I bet you go to Starbucks every day and spend $7 on coffee. You know what? If I would go to Starbucks one day, I don't drink coffee, so I don't go to Starbucks. I've been to a Starbucks like 4 times in my life. Let's say I spent $7 on a coffee, $7.99 to be exact. And the coffee was poisoned and forced me to throw up for 3 days. Would I go back to Starbucks and spend another $7.99 on a coffee?
Exactly.
And I asked Sam, because Sam's like, I spent $19 on a movie on Spectrum that sucked. And I said, would you spend another $19 to watch the same movie? He's like, sure I would if I need to fall asleep easily. No, fuck that. I'm running out of hands to count, but
I got you. No,
it's absolutely not the amount of money. It's the fact that the league moved to this pay-per-view model, which I fully support and I fully understand why, absolutely 100%. But then you put this shit show like this and have completely ignored comments about refunds up until today. I did get a message from that league today. They basically said they're working with Facebook to figure out how to refund events, but until then, feel free to watch the games. No, you're not. No. I'm not falling for that shit, because then you're going to prorate my ass for whatever I watch. So until this is figured out, I'm watching the free games. If it's not even figured out by this weekend, I'm just going to go right to Facebook and say, I want a refund on this because it's a shit product and it doesn't live up to what they advertise.
Yeah.
So, there's more rants. What else do we have to rant about? Matt,
I think this is my last comment on it, and then I will talk about the game.
There's a game?
No, I don't think there was. I think it was just that.
Yeah.
I just feel like if we're gonna switch to the pay-per-view model and you're gonna have fans that support it, and you hear us complain, you should wait before we even hear us complain. If you're gonna switch, make sure the product is good. Making sure it's as good as it was last year, if not better. Don't come in when you had March, a really good production, and then come to a new season and give us that. Like, that is ridiculous. It's hard to believe that team. I mean, it's like comparing it to Turlock. I mean,
I would watch every game
Turlock,
at Turlock
100%,
before I'd watch
100%.
another one like that ever in my whole entire life.
Right. At least Turlock has their sound problem fixed.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
sometimes. So, somebody from the league asked, a person said, give me some ideas to improve the pay-per-view. And this is what I wrote. I said, I have a bunch of things I'm going to say tomorrow night on the show, which is now. But basically, think it from the fan side. The fans have dozens of things they could be doing for 2 hours and $8. Don't make them regret watching because they likely won't be back. It was easy to write off the broadcast in the past, especially for a business-minded person, because they were free and generating absolutely no money and costing the teams quite a bit. But now that they're charging, there needs to be as much put into them as in the game day experience. And that's what I feel about it. It's like if you're spending all this money in the game day experience and you have the frisbee dogs and the dance teams and the freaky dude swallowing, sorry, I had to walk away from that. That gave me anxiety. And somebody, I think Scott Wegener posted that. He said the guy was like 20 feet from him when he like looked like he was gonna fall off or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch that. But put that much effort in your online show.
Yeah, agreed.
Don't run the same 3 commercials for the entire halftime. Don't go dead for a blank field during halftime. I mean, that's not even the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
And Lucas posted something in the group yesterday or the other night saying, so from what I've understood, what we need is, and he just listed off like basic shit for a broadcast. Audio, video. It's 2020. Yeah. It's not 1997 where there's no dial-up internet and you're trying to, because I've heard all the excuses. The internet at the arena is really bad. Well, then fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's old video equipment, then fix it. And granted, I understand that a lot of these teams have the arena is what puts on the broadcast and not the team, but it's your team. Mike Zimmerman said it devalues the entire league as a product when one team puts that down. And when we had Andrew Haynes on, what did he say? He's like, you go to a TV thing and they say, show me your worst broadcast.
Yep.
They don't want to see the best. They don't want to see the highlights. They want to see the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your statement. If we're going to this online world right now because of situations, you got to put the same effort in. They should literally take just because Dallas was such a great stream for me, the pre-show, the sideline they fixed, and everything was such a great show. Why not use that as the standard that everyone should bare minimum follow?
If only there was a platform that held archives of all these games that someone could go look and watch and see what they look like. And yes, so Sid says there are high school sports broadcasts with much higher quality than many MASL teams. Absolutely 100%. In fact, there were high school teams. I think somebody said they were charging $4 or $5 a game to watch their high school stream play. It was basketball and volleyball, but still, that's, I don't have any problem with the price. I think $7.99 is. I understand what you're doing with the $7.99 by saying, well, we want people to buy the season pass. I think $7.99 is too much. I think $5 a game is probably a better price point.
I think so. And
that's purely just a price thing, but I totally get it. It's like the cable companies. Oh, well, you can buy these, this unbundled or this bundled and you save whatever. So I totally get it. And I know there's going to be a ton of games between now and when it's done that if you buy every game individually, you're way over that $80 price point.
Right.
Yeah. So Adam got to sit on his soapbox for a second.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna sit on mine for a second. So Florida, I mean, Ricardo is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Joey Tavernisi, Stephen DeRue, all these guys are great. I don't know, the heads of the Florida Tropics I have issues with. First was the production. I mean, that was just shit. Pure and utter shit. Day one, awful. Second game was great.
Wait, time out real quick. I may or may not have gotten a middle of the night drunk text by one of the people you just said. Okay, carry on.
Really? Okay. Well, okay, never mind. So I think Florida, I'm not going to say they don't care, but it kind of shows, especially in the first game's production, also with the fact that they didn't have anyone come represent them in the All-Star game. Like, I think right there, that kind of gave like one middle finger to the fans of the MASL.
Yep.
And then
A second.
this other production was the other middle finger. That's how I see it. Like, why couldn't you, in a time where it's, Adam, I'm going to say this, unprecedented.
Oh God.
Well, I just said it once. I'm not going to say it again.
That just erased all the F-bombs.
Sweet.
Refresh the F-bombs. I mean, have some of your players playing in this sport. But you're like, oh no, we're not gonna do that because we don't want. I know some of the players wanted to play in that game.
To come
so
out.
that just kind of that kind of, like I said, that kind of gave, in my opinion, a middle finger towards the fans, saying, well, we really don't care. And then this kind of shows up, and it,
right.
You know what I mean?
And especially with the attitude in this, and granted, I hate to bash things because I love the players. And there's players that I hate, but I still love them.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Sometimes it's more hate, but I still love all the players. And I feel bad for players like on teams like Milwaukee that can't play this year, or may have to uproot, like Ian has to uproot his entire life for 4 months so he can get a paycheck. It's ridiculous. But it's COVID. It's the era we're in. But if you have this swagger about yourself as a team, like we're the best, we're the champions, we won all our games, look at our trophy that we gave ourselves. You didn't get that. And granted, I mean, Florida's attendance numbers are a joke, but you're still doing it for the fans. If it weren't for the fans, there wouldn't be a game. To kind of tag onto that, that little rant, I talked to Mike Zimmerman the other night, and his comment was 85 people in the stands, 85 people watching the game on pay-per-view. He's like, we could have done this. When the Panther Arena said they're not going to allow fans at games, they basically were saying, okay, we can allow like 100 people in the building, which if you count like the staff needed for both teams and the arena staff with no fans, that's like your 100 people right there.
Right.
The 100 person between the two teams and production crew, probably more. You could probably have a couple player family or something like that. He's like, but that's not what the Wave is. The Wave is a professional team with a brand that will not cheapen themselves to play. I don't know if you guys ever watched a game with no fans, like in an arena. I can't even imagine how horrible it would be. Like if there's 100 people in the arena, you're watching around, like watching the NFL games where they all like 500 fans and or family and friends, when it's normally like 80,000 or 60,000 or whatever it is. It's not the same sport. It isn't. It's that's, it's not the Ron Newman Cup. It's something else. It's fanless pay-per-view debacles.
I don't, like, I can see how it may seem like another sport, but I wouldn't necessarily, given the time, I think it would be okay. But I think Mike's idea of holding a standard for his brand is absolutely the way it should be.
Yeah.
It should not be reduced for any reason, because if your production isn't ready, if your team isn't ready, if you're not sure what's going on, or whatever your reason is that's forcing you to lower your standards, you shouldn't do it. You should absolutely not do it. Just take the year off. The MASL obviously isn't going to hold it against you. So the fans might get upset, but just talk to them, communicate with them, just like Milwaukee did. Milwaukee's fans were upset, like a week or two, through all the communication via my everything.
Yeah,
it simmered down.
It's upset. It's the fans are upset because our way of life has been changed.
Right, of course.
People inherently don't like change at all, and then you take something away, and not that Mike took anything away, but COVID takes away this thing that we love to do.
Right.
We live every year for it. It's like the season's over in April, like, crap. Now I'm
Right.
gonna have a great summer with great weather, but I want the shitty weather to come back so I can go back and watch indoor soccer.
But,
I mean,
but that's the thing. Like, you guys were upset for the moment, but by the time you know it, they'll be back, and you guys will be right back where you were because it's what you love, and you guys will understand. The Waves will be better off for it for when they return, hopefully, and it's not like they've damaged their image, as where Florida has damaged their image with forcing a broadcast that wasn't ready.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just going to reiterate, not having any of their players play in the All-Star game.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it's like the goal of 2021 is to get new fans to watch the sport. So let's say I'm a new fan and I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw these videos, it's great, and I bought the season pass and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this great sport. And the first thing you see
Is that
There's a chicken dance.
Please don't ever do that again.
it's just what you did right now, Adam, is what new fans felt.
Right. So, okay. So let me, I'm reading. Yeah. I'm reading through some stuff. I'm scrolling.
Well, while you
For those
scroll,
of you that are new to this show, that
Yeah,
normally
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
happen. So
We should actually, our opening video should be just an apology.
yeah.
For those
Sorry
of you about
about
to
that.
watch this, I am sorry. So you got your first middle finger of the All-Star game. You got your second, I don't have three hands. You got your second middle finger of the broadcast. Your third middle finger is not a single apology. You could have taken
No
15
communication.
seconds, written up a post saying, we apologize for this. We have it fixed. We're going to fix it for the next game. Absolutely nothing. In fact, they ignored all of the tweets to them. They ignored all the Facebook posts to them, did not reply to anything. There's your third middle finger. And
I have been told that the league is, oddly enough, the league is looking into this.
Well, the league stepped up and held themselves accountable, even though it was not them.
So the league can look into a faulty production, but they can't look into someone punching someone in the face.
And
So-
this is when we.
So
So there was a game.
Speaking of tangents, let's answer a question. When we had Eric Bergerud on the first time, he asked the question of what is the league? Who owns the league? So let's get into that. because
Wait. Do you want to do that after we actually talk about the games?
I didn't watch the game, so I don't give a shit.
Well, I could give you a summary real quick.
Yeah, I watched the second game.
All right, as soon as we're done talking about the game, I want to get into this. We're gonna miss our hour deadline that we imposed on ourselves. But,
We'll shoot for an hour and a half. But so real quick, the second game, obviously, the first game, Ambush did what they did, just missed. They just missed. And then they made the same mistake that they did in the second game by taking Paolo out. They do not need to take him out. They do not need to go on 6 attacker because they're horrible at it. They're trash at it. They don't play defense, and that's what it ends up being.
how was their aim in the second game?
The second game is actually better.
Okay.
Oh my God, that first goal was nauseating. It's 7 tries to make one. It's just like.
Well,
Is it the first game or the second game?
second game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was the second game. You're right. Yeah, it was the second game. First, I don't know. The second game was kind of controversial, and it kind of goes into the whole thing you mentioned earlier. So one of the calls was Mijatovic got hit in the head with the ball, fell down, got back up, and that's when Ian scored. So the issue then lies, if someone gets hit in the head, it doesn't play automatically stop.
How long did it take him to get up?
Like 2 seconds. It was literally like boom, boom.
Oh, well.
He was right up like instantly. So that's what they were saying on the broadcast. It was normally they would stop play, make sure he's okay, and then do like a restart, but they didn't do that. So
But okay,
So
was
the
it
thing
was
with
it
that is the thing with that was before that there was a few calls that were bad. So both teams were already on edge.
sure?
Because after that happened, that's when the whole thing where Drew, Max, and Ian
oh
were
yeah, they all
talking
were
in the
like,
midfield.
yeah.
Everyone was sitting there talking, delaying because of that. But prior to that, I think this was the refs' way of fixing what they had done earlier. There was a play where Ian had a chance on goal, but he had called it back because of a foul.
Hmm.
So it was like the foul happened. He didn't call it right away. The ball was played. Ian pretty much was on a one-on-one situation, and he called it back. And then the two refs had to talk about it because they obviously weren't on the same page about
Yeah.
that call.
So Scotty says he stayed on for at least 5 seconds. One real quick comment. Jay mentioned Florida's turf is enough to turn off possible fans. When Florida first went down there, they actually painted the green over their turf, and it would turn the ball green, like
Oh my
absolutely
goodness.
noticeable shade of green. I don't know if you remember that. You guys remember that? But
I
yeah,
know, I do. You're right.
I actually thought they had a different ball. And I think that might have even been when they had the white miter balls. No, it was the yellow Puma balls, the black and yellow.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Puma ones.
It
Yeah.
turned those green. But anyway, it's was Mijatovic right in the middle of play?
Oh yeah. They
So
could
that's
have.
yeah,
They honestly could have stopped the play, and no one would have said anything.
yeah.
But I think the ref, like a few plays before that, that's what happened with Ian. So it's like it probably was still in his mind, and he was like, "Let me let it go."
Sure.
But granted, the calls were just terrible that game. They were just some really bad ones. And at a certain point, like I like both teams because I'm a neutral party in that situation. But it felt like they were just way favoring Florida for a little bit, and then they caught themselves, and then they were just calling stupid little fouls, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not right.
I don't pretend to know what's in a ref's head, but I've heard other people, commentators, say that sometimes the refs think calling more fouls, if they realize the game's getting out of hand, they'll call more fouls to try to settle things down. And I don't think that's what that does. I think that
Yeah.
gets people more
Yeah.
riled up and more irritated.
Yeah, but in I guess the good sense of the game, St. Louis had a much better game the second game, much
Yep.
better. They honestly could have won had they won, not won six attacker and kept Paolo on, and two, finished their chances. So just to give you a picture, the first game, Florida had total 18 shots on goal and St. Louis 12. The second game, Florida had 21 and St. Louis had 19. Huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference. They had more opportunities, but they just, again, didn't put them away. And six attacker is not for St. Louis. It is not for them.
So what's the difference? And I'm asking this as a fan of the game, trying to ask this for the fans of the game. Why would a team with someone like Paulo with his foot skills go sixth attacker versus just have him come up? Because he's obviously
To be honest, because from my point of view, and from what I've noticed, they tend to put it on a player that has a good shot from a distance.
Which is Paulo.
Paolo has that.
Yeah.
But you're sacrificing a good goalie that gets back and can strike from a distance for an offensive player.
Right. And I think now that I'm thinking it through, it's probably a matter of speed too, because if you get a breakaway, you have to try to get back.
Right, but the
They
thing
never
was,
do.
the issue. Two of the goals in both of the games is they were caught too high, and they just didn't even get back.
Yeah.
So it's like, might as well just keep Paolo because he at least knows. Okay, I got to sit back.
Yeah.
I got to sit back. And like the one goal, the first goal when it was 5-5, 5-5. The ball was played over the sixth attacker, which was in front of both of the defenders.
Yeah,
He
that's
got pulled up that far up that's how they got beat.
Yep.
That's a terrible 6 attacker. Not saying individually, but just as a team, the way they ran it was just bad. So
Well,
I just
hopefully,
think,
hopefully they'll learn it. It's the big. It sounds like they fixed the not being able to shoot on target problem.
Yeah.
hitting, yeah.
They might have
Well,
someone. They might
Oh,
have
go
someone
ahead.
coming in that might help that too. That I might have heard, but maybe possibly.
So here's the thing, and I'm going to direct this towards the St. Louis Ambush fans, real quick. I got into an argument with one of them, actually a couple of them, wanting to fire Everton. It's a load of shit.
It's too early.
It's ridiculous. So they posted his records, and then posted 0-1 for this season, and then posted him with a Stella, which I kind of think is ridiculous, and that's for another time. I'm not going to get into it.
Is it the same person?
Yeah. So they went from 4-17 or 4-18 to like 9-10 win seasons the last couple of years, and then he puts 0-1. Yeah, you played one of the best teams ever constructed in the Florida Tropics, and you lost 4-1. It could have been a lot closer. You could have even won that game.
Wasn't it 4-1 at the half? Weren't there no goals?
Yeah, St. Louis tightened up their defense. So the thing,
So it's
Go ahead.
4-1, and then you lost what, 7-5 in the second one?
7-5, yep.
So against Florida, of all teams, you've got one of the best teams ever constructed, and you want to fire the coach after the first game. That's a load of shit. I'm sorry, but it's not Everton. Everton is pulling this team together and they have a lot of great pieces. They've got Duduka, they've got JT Thomas, they've got Max, Paulo. I mean, it's a work in progress.
Wall was good. Wall and Miller played some phenomenal games this weekend.
I want to know how Tony Walls got to get out of that Riverhounds contract.
Maybe he decided not to play.
Maybe, I don't know, but I'm being selfish. I want to see Canardo Forbes play in Utica, but
Because he got a 3-year deal with St. Louis. Walls did. Maybe
he had a great. He definitely is a presence, and he definitely.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
And Miller, like he's good, man.
Like the whole Tony Walls thing, I was just really surprised because of the fact he went to Pittsburgh, and I'm like, oh God, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
It's the same with Canardo. I mean, he went to Pittsburgh.
One thing I will say about Florida, the two things. Sorry, not Florida. St. Louis. I will say, yes, they are getting better at shooting. Yes, they should not go on 6 attacker, but they really, really need to play defense from start to finish, and they need to release the ball. Get rid of your egos and release the ball. And Max, you need to shoot. Trust your shot. Oh my God, he had like so many opportunities.
I've been saying that. I've said it to myself for years. I'm like, dude's got a great foot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he had beat Drew, and he had maybe like a 3-second window. The ball was already on his right foot. He could have just had it, but instead he took an extra touch out and then cut back in to find his left. I'm like, guy, just take the shot, man. You're not going to find a perfect pass in St. Louis right now.
Yep.
But,
take charge.
Yeah. So that was the games.
Now so what do we got this week?
Wait, hold on. Oh, we want to predict and then talk about Adam's point?
Let's do that.
So this week we have a great game with KC and Florida.
Isn't it a back-to-back again?
Friday and Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
But technically it is back-to-back, but 3 days apart, 2 days apart.
So is it just those 2 games? I thought there was another one.
Dallas hosting St. Louis on Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. That's going to be a good one.
That's gonna be a good one.
So I think Florida and KC split it. And
I will go on record. Hang on, let me check one thing first.
I think I know what he's going to say.
I think you do too.
I have a good feeling.
So I will go on record to say I will purchase the Friday night game. And if this isn't the best goddamn Florida broadcast I've ever seen, that's the last money I'm spending on Florida. So I'm good with second chance.
Florida dope this up.
Right. What'd you
Well,
say?
we tried telling him in the fourth quarter of that game. We're like, Adam, seriously, trust us. Watch the fourth quarter.
I was in a groove recording stuff.
Oh,
I'd put my phone on do not disturb and everything. I didn't watch a Packer game. It was like first seed in the NFC was on the line.
Can we not talk football?
well then.
So,
No, as a New York Giants fan, I'm done with football.
however,
Fuck the Eagles.
what the Eagles did last night was still better than what Florida did Saturday night with their broadcast.
It's tough. That's a tough one.
Corn dog. Matt, your turn.
Yeah, go ahead. What?
Say corn dog.
Oh, I'm supposed to say corn dog. Corn dog.
Gio.
Corn dog.
All right, now you have sound bits. You can bleep out the F bombs with the word corn dog, and you have all three of us doing it. All right,
yeah.
taken care of.
That's a good one.
So
who are you going with, Adam?
I don't care. I mean,
he's just done with Florida.
So do you want me to tell you what I think he's going to say?
Okay, let's do that. Let's guess for him.
He's going to say he's going to go for KC in both games because he hates Florida.
no, I wouldn't do that.
I think he's going to go to a split.
I think they're going to split them.
See,
I don't know which one. I don't know who wins which game though.
I think Florida wins the first, KC wins the second.
That's kind of where I'm leading, but I could see KC coming in and winning the first.
He's like, nope, Florida's losing both.
No. No. Florida sweep.
Florida sweep.
Florida sweep. They're just getting started. I mean,
and that's my first gut, but I can't rule out how good Kansas City looks.
Been.
But your point about defense. So Florida's a team with all the veterans on it, and the one thing that a team full of veterans can pounce on are mistakes. And if KC makes one, it could be the game. And they made like 4 in the last game.
and you didn't even see, I mean, I'm throwing these guys out there, but I didn't see Zach Reggett out on the field. I didn't see Lucio Gonzaga. I don't know if they played, but I didn't see
They weren't even Lucio wasn't rostered. I don't know if Zaga was.
When you sign 25 top players, how do you come up with a 15 game roster every week?
Yeah, so I mean, there are guys we haven't
insane.
even seen yet. So I just think Florida is just they're gonna sweep.
So what happens later on when they try to get all the players to play, and then realize that they lose their chemistry if certain players aren't together?
Well, that's the thing. So the chemistry, there was moments where it wasn't. Like to point out Florida's weaknesses, sometimes the ball movement is way slow. And if Drew isn't in the back, I don't feel comfortable.
Did you see the first 2 games against Orlando last year?
Yeah.
Where Florida like struggled to win by 1 or 2 goals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's maybe what I think is happening right now. And then they just
Yeah, and that's I mean a slow start, but we all saw what happened last year with Florida, and I think you're going to see that again.
I think though, if teams are smart, and St. Louis did this, they did it with the Duca, and they did it with who was it? I can't remember who the other person was, but Was it Minnesota? I can't remember. But anyways, they literally just whenever the ball was flowing, they just put a body on them, and they disrupted their play. And that when Florida isn't flowing, that's where they're at their weakest.
So you want to know Kansas City's secret, and actually Baltimore plays the same style of defense. When Kansas City was dominating 4 or 5 years ago, and you saw it in the Dallas game, especially after once they got their composure back, you double team the guy with the ball and you take possession and you run, and then you capitalize on breakaways.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most simple, straightforward approach, but it works so well.
Florida's doing that, by the way.
Everybody realized that. I mean, it's not secret. It's not this like super secret strategy. It's that you get 2 guys on the ball and you make sure the ball doesn't come out. But the problem is when you get 2 or 3 guys on the ball and the ball squirts out, then there's 2 or 3 guys open.
So that's the thing. St. Louis. So Florida was high press, double
Yeah, I
team,
was about to mention that. Yeah.
high press double team with a guy on the outside just in case they found it. Literally, what Everton is doing with them, they're going to be deadly because when they got it and they got it right, they always found themselves on the 2-1.
Yeah.
throw.
They played great on the press.
The defender to the right would pull in the double team. He'll drop it to Paolo. Paolo will find the outside, and then the defenders will shift, and then he would literally just chip it back over, and then they will play it forward. And they're on a one-on-one. It was literally a triangle play against 3 defenders, Florida players.
Yeah. So you know what we need? We need a telestrator because I think Gio is like he reminds me of John Madden. He's like, so what we got here? We got this guy over here. And then boom. And then you high press over here, and then you got this little guy over here.
I'm sorry, I like to analyze the games.
That's perfect. And I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say if Kansas City is to win one of these games against Florida, I think that's a secret. I think you're going to see Florida high press just like they did against St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've got a lot of fast guys on Kansas City where they can break that press, and they can finish better than St. Louis.
I think someone has to share their screen for the whiteboard thing to be active.
The thing with St. Louis is that they didn't drop back. Florida's whole team dropped. So Casey's good at being quick with the 1-2s and then getting up and then finishing it and not literally taking forever to figure it out what they're going to do. So that might be what hurts Florida if they do lose.
Yeah.
Find a way to
Did we predict the other game, or are we just kind of
Dallas? I mean, come on.
Dallas and St. Louis visiting Dallas. St. Louis only has 1 game that
I gotta go with my Dallas.
When are you putting your Lipe jersey up?
I framed it.
I'll take St. Louis in that one.
I'll put on a Dallas jersey and switch this for the next one because I have it on the frame.
Oh, so you guys see, I was hoping you two would predict the same, so I'd go opposite. But that didn't happen. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say Dallas.
See, Dallas is making a comeback.
I think they're both very close.
It's a 1-goal game.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the last one.
I think the key is going to be who can finish offensively. And we've seen with St. Louis, they've started to kind of like move the gears a little bit. But Dallas, I mean, I think it's going to be a 1-goal game. Dallas wins.
Sid says Dallas over St. Louis. Can the ambush ever play all 4 quarters? I'm very legitimate.
I think that's
question.
literally what shoots them.
That's what we've been saying for the last few years.
Yeah. And yeah. I hate to we had Everton on. Everton's like, oh, we had the wave in all those games. Just because it was 1-0 either way in the first quarter or first half doesn't mean you had the wave.
Yeah.
The Wave's defense and the way that the possession game goes is they're wearing you down, they're making you chase, they're wearing you down, they're making you chase. And then when you get the ball, they just go back in a defensive shell. Yeah.
So to give a little light on the Dallas ambush game, JT's hurt. I don't know how serious it is. He's hurt. and Alex was out. I don't think he was hurt. He was just out.
Pepe's out, broken
And-
wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having surgery. I can't imagine. I wrote in the group today that because it's not a running injury or a foot injury, he should be able to get that wrapped up and play, but not a week after it happens.
Oh yeah, of course not.
It's
Yeah.
still going to be a couple of weeks yet.
So we'll see. I mean, the announcer said JT was hurt. It wasn't anything serious, but they didn't know if he would miss the next game or not, or if it was just like something.
You know what's cool is in the league published the injury report every week. So
Now back to Adam's.
Oh, wait, no. I'm going to throw this out there. Do we do like a player of the week?
Oh yeah, we were supposed to start this week.
so
Well, I can't do team of the week because it's 3 games.
yeah, I'm going to bow out of that because of the fact that I didn't watch
I will pick one.
games.
I will also pick one.
I'll pick 2. I'll pick a defender and a forward. Or
I'm just gonna pick a player.
I know who you're gonna pick.
Well, who am I gonna pick?
The guy who got 4 assists.
Yeah, the guy that got 4 assists, Ricardo Cavallo from Florida. Of course I am.
I knew it.
All 4 assists. 4 assists, 4 goals. Enough said.
Yeah. So
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually gonna pick 2. Ricardo was one, and the other one was Ian Bennett, because of his
Never
hat
heard
trick.
of him.
Yeah.
I saw a replay of one of his goals where the ball was like flying all over the place and then went like 50 feet up in the air and then came down and it somehow got on Ian's foot and he just put it away.
Yeah, they were talking about that. They're like, oh, the roof in the RP funding arena is really high. And
Yeah, they were on.
that was the one that was after he got hit in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that the same? That was the same play.
That was the same play.
Oh, I didn't even see that when that happened.
Oh, yeah. Ball hit head. Ball went way up. Yeah.
I'll go look for it. I'll watch it later. But
Oh, and as far as defenders, Drew.
how can you not pick Drew as defender?
Well, you can pick someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Like
on
I
the
can
fence
pick
with-
Paolo. I can pick Paolo as
Paolo. Yo, that's.
What about goalkeeper of the week?
I would go. I actually would go Neto. Neto had a phenomenal game for me.
Did Silva play both games for
Both
Florida?
games. Oh yeah.
Silva did, but
I mean,
So
Paolo had a
Silva's
better.
been one of those goalkeepers that has never. I don't want to say impress is not the word. He's never stood out to me, but he's just been solid his entire career.
he's got some blonde hair. He
I know,
must
I
have.
saw
I don't
He
know.
looks so weird.
Is that a Florida thing? Because all the guys go down to Florida and color their hair blonde.
His blonde hair with that super orange jersey.
But yeah, it just.
And then black
I had to wear
pants. I'm like,
sunglasses to watch him.
but hey, I mean, hey, props for him.
I don't mean that as an insult to him at all. I just he's one of those players that's never really like he never would show up in my top 5 goalkeepers of the league. But then you go back and you look at what he's done, and it's like, well, how can't you? How can you not pick him for that?
That's how I feel about that one guy that plays for Baltimore, the goalkeeper.
It's well, see, no, there's a difference because he has some like interesting saves, as where Hugo is very fundamental and very consistent, as opposed to, oh my God, I saw this coming a mile away, as opposed to Vanzella, who is crazy with his saves. He sometimes makes me super nervous when he comes out.
We have to get him on the show to just kind of like admit to both of us that it happened.
I don't think he's going to admit anything.
So Adam, what were you gonna say?
So Eric Berger had asked the question of who owns the league, and essentially who is the league? Like where's the money? What is it? And Huff basically asked the same question and not as many words, not in different words. Like what owns the league? What runs the league? What is the league? And it's been really, really, really easy to just blame everything on Josh Schaub, the commissioner, because he's really the head of the league.
which we
However,
were.
I don't think what most people don't know is that Josh is not running the league anymore. Josh was essentially put on furlough due to COVID reasons. He's been getting paid like a handful of hours a week, and I have heard this for the couple people who are like, "Holy shit, I told you that in confidence. Why are you saying this?" I've heard this from like 4 different people now, almost word for word. He's getting paid to do legal things, contracts, things like that. He's not getting paid to do any running of the league. So the league, uh, like they do every year, they voted in and elected a board of director or executive committee for the league, headed up by Lane Smith, owner of Tacoma and Comets. Vice president is Kevin Healy of the Heat. Shelley's the secretary from Ambush. Treasurer is Phil Salvaggio from San Diego Sockers. And then the at-large, I don't know what that means, is he's like stole a bunch. No, I shouldn't even joke about that. But at-large, he's the Simon Bozes from Dallas. So that's who's running the league. That's who's making the decisions. So I want all the fans to know that when you're gathering your angst towards the stupid things that the league is doing and has done and probably will do, because we know there's no chance that this is the last fuck up they've done. Like they have 5 days to sit here and do nothing at 4, and there's a whole weekend full of like new shenanigans that are going to happen. And with 2 games in Florida, maybe we'll be lucky if we get a picture. But so he's actually not running the league, and they parted ways with Jeff Husted, who is full-time marketing, PR, social media person. So I've heard rumors that there's more people coming on. I've heard this rumor from multiple people. Keith Tozer was supposed to come in and be commissioner of the league for this season, but due to COVID, they decided they didn't need that. Owners are deciding they can run it themselves. So when we look at why was Huffman suspended for talking bad about Tacoma and Comets, and why wasn't a Comets player suspended for punching a guy?
You know why?
Now we know why.
Yeah, I so for a long time I was in the dark about some knowledge and who runs the league and all that. And a lot of my I like what Josh has done. He has had a lot of ideas and direction he wanted to take the league, but at the same time, like I had this thing like, Josh, you're not doing anything. Josh, you're not doing anything. After that was said by, like you said, multiple people, so don't know, nobody get butthurt and hate us or whatnot. Please.
Any more than they already do.
Yes, please. It's just I think the fans should know. The fans should know that, not that we're entitled to know, but just so that they know not to attack Josh or not to. We have to, as a platform that we are, hold whoever party that is responsible for whatever situation accountable. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing. So I'm sorry, Josh, for all the things I've said.
Well, but it makes it worse that the fact that it wasn't communicated. So here, if you watch Josh on Twitter, he posts about baseball nonstop and never about soccer. Nothing about soccer. And
nonstop.
You're like, well, obviously the guy only cares about baseball. He doesn't give a shit about soccer at all. So why should we support him? Well, when he's not being paid to do the job that he was hired to do, this isn't a charity. I mean, we do this for free, but the people who are supposed to be owning teams, oh boy.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too. I was like, oh man.
Okay, we'll get to your comment in a second. The people who are supposed to be running the league, all of a sudden we find out that they aren't running the league. And now there's no third party. Think about that. There's no third party unbiased voice for this league anymore. So who is Sid? Do we know Sid by another name? Because Sid, you're very active in the chat, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
So Jay and Sid, what happened was Huff put a video out before the All-Star game
on our forum,
on our group, his girlfriend's account. He actually wanted me to post. I'm like, dude, I'm going to KC. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I kind of agree with a lot of the things, but I can't be the one that posted. He's like, yeah, no problem. So he just posted it from his girlfriend's account. He's anti-Facebook, so we'll probably never see a Huffman on Facebook. But he said what a lot of people were thinking, that it was a Tacoma and Comets invite your friends game. There were players invited because they were in close proximity. And then, of course, a bunch of the Comets fans, the same ones who got into it with him when he got suspended when he was with Orlando 2 seasons ago, got into it with him again. And he didn't really hold back. And now they say he was being vulgar with the fans. I don't know if I saw that or not. I don't know if they just put that into the whole thing, but he got suspended 2 games and fined an undisclosed amount for that video and saying those things.
I thought it was 3 games.
No, it was only 2.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
But
I have heard it's being fought. But the thing is, there's a certain monetary amount. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's some league rule, which I think is asinine now that I've heard this. If the fine is under a certain amount and it's only 2 game suspension, the player can't appeal it.
Yep.
So every suspension is going to be exactly what they've outlined, unless it's like super serious.
But that that brings up that point that we're like, hey, well, I said a couple of weeks, it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, where the league should be fair across the board, regardless of who's running the show. If Huffman's getting suspended for that, Sosa should be suspended.
If Huffman's being suspended for a bunch of words, Sosa should be banned from the league for a year. If we're really gonna talk about, and I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with either. I think Sosa should have gotten a 1 game suspension, because in the past, like blatant kind of punches like that were a 1 game suspension plus whatever the red card and the points accumulation. I think that would be fair. I know, Matt, you were saying a lot more. I think it's fair. I know years ago there was a player that I really like, who's played on the Wave and both Mexican teams and the Sockers, and I'm not going to say his name, basically just back fisted a guy, back elbowed a guy.
Never mind.
Completely blatant. Great person though. I like him a lot. And he got 1 game, and I'm like, oh, well, he got instantly red carded. And in the past, when there's been incidents where they don't get red carded on the field, even like if they don't see it or whatever, the league has stepped in and given a 1 game suspension. I think that's fair. It's not like he, intended to hurt him by pinning him down on the ground and doing like on the TV shows back and forth and back and forth. He gave a punch. It's a heated altercation. He should get a game for that.
Yeah, and you saw that. So last year it was Utica Harrisburg. Jake Schindler took someone to the ground.
I remember that.
He got a game suspension. So tell me what the issue is. Like, I understand it's I don't understand it's a non-sanctioned, whatever. 1 game, just something. Not a red card and you get eliminated for the 4th quarter. Whoopie frickin' do.
It doesn't even matter if it's non-sanctioned. It's a MASL team in an MASL affiliated arena with all the logos of the MASL. It is your brand on the line. It is your image on the line, besides the team's image, because the team itself should have even took recourse before the league did. But Sosa should be suspended. I don't care what no one says. I'm not saying he needs to get banned. I'm not saying that it was intentional and he's a terrible person. No. But that action should have consequences. If I cut at a fan and get suspended, by all means, I should be suspended if I punch a player.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Bottom line.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, what's the count, by the way?
The count?
Yeah.
Like,
did it get reset, or is it we just don't know?
I thought we reset it after.
Oh, okay. Well, this
Yeah, we
whole
did
fucking
reset that.
season is non-sanctioned as far as I'm concerned. So there. In an unprecedented time, the season is non-sanctioned. I just about killed Gio.
Can't do this anymore.
So
Going to bed.
Oh my God, you almost killed me.
here's
Go to bed.
okay. I have two more things to bitch about because this is fun. Maybe I'll be more.
This is fun.
No, I mean, but who else? If we don't do it, who else is gonna hold people accountable? Like seriously, I mean,
There is no.
we love the league. We're gonna push for the league. We're gonna have great relationships with everyone. We mean no offense by anything we say, but we're gonna call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of bullshit, the MASL made a statement with the pay-per-view thing that one of the games in Dallas had 22,000 viewers. Let's call bullshit on that. Here's how that.
But we got to call it on Facebook.
Right. So this is part Facebook and part the MASL just reading into it and maybe not even knowing.
Right.
That was the game that because they fucked up the season pass so badly, anyone who bought the season pass missed the entire first quarter and half the second quarter of that game. To fix it, they just made it for free and they opened it up.
So I looked into it actually, so I can explain where the 22,000 viewers were. Half of them were in their kitchens getting corn dogs.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Yes. Oh yes. So.
Oh, by the way, Brad made a good point. Sorry, I just saw his comment. So Guernsey's getting suspended for one game for talking about the ref's mom. That was the instant red card.
oh.
No, he gets a parade. He gets an MASL fan parade for that.
So, I mean, back to our point. Yeah,
right.
But anyways, go ahead. Sorry to.
So, where were we? Where am I?
Something about the 22
F words and.
By the way, I'm still convinced that we all died in March of COVID and we're all in purgatory right now. So that's just my ongoing theory of the year. So anyway,
I definitely am not in purgatory. Well, I kind of am.
Right? Yeah. So if you look at the views on Facebook videos are split out in the events on the season pass versus the individual games. Those are separate events and they get separate views that show up on Facebook for that. For this particular event, they made it, and you can't share those. You can share the link, but if you go to the link and you haven't purchased it, it just comes up with a purchase this and view it kind of thing. When they made the one for free, everyone shared it because it was a free link and anyone could click on it. Now, what does Facebook count as a view? They count 3 seconds of watching it. That's one view. So remember when we were in doing the live show here and Matt would go, oh, hold on. And Matt would, for the people in the chat, Matt would drop off the chat for a second and then come back. That would have counted as a view because you essentially left the Facebook view. You went to another app or you went to whatever. So that is 22,000 instances of someone watching the show for 3 seconds or more. So those people who watched it nonstop and just left it on a screen for the whole game counted as one view. Those people who went back and forth, especially on devices like phones, which only shows the app once, every time they went back to that screen and watched it for 3 seconds, that view counter went up. And it was shared on Facebook, on Twitter, and the whole thing. So no, there were not 22,000 viewers. The championship game from 2 seasons ago only had 8,000 viewers on free YouTube, which gets billions of views a day. There's no way some preseason game that nobody knew about until halfway through the game got 22,000 viewers. So there, call bullshit on that. What else can we call bullshit about?
Though the free game this weekend, that was a realistic number. 7,900.
Is that what it was?
That's a realistic number.
But 7,000 is, if it was free, it's still the same thing. It's 3 seconds 3 second views.
Well, no, I'm saying, at any given point, it was like 500 to, I saw like 1K at one point. So,
Okay. So that's legitimate.
Right. So as where that one.
Yeah. Here's another thing I want to call bullshit on. The
Oh,
players have to pay to watch the pay-per-view games.
that is crazy, by the way.
And now I could kind of see players who are not playing on a team right now, who don't have a team in the league, because you got to kind of draw the line somewhere. Like, well, wait, I played on the Wave 3 seasons ago. Can I get a free nice can I get a free pass or whatever? But players who are actively playing on teams that are going to play these, like Drew Ruggles mentioned a while ago that he watches like all the games. And he studies, and that's where he does his study work. Well, now you're making the players pay to watch the games. Doesn't
maybe okay, so maybe the teams are paying for it. Maybe it's not taken out of their salary or whatever. I mean, it's
not from what I've heard.
Oh, well then, okay.
I've heard players who are active on teams are paying out of their own pocket to watch games.
Okay, well then,
Maybe
then
the team should reimburse them.
Yes.
Maybe. But if that doesn't happen, that's nonsense. Because we had talked with Eric and Nick in KC about that.
Because Danny does the same thing.
I was like, I hope you guys would get the games for free. And Eric's like, I don't know. You don't know with this league sometimes. Yeah, Brad just said he knows a player that's paying for the games.
Yeah.
Which is just
same
ridiculous.
Here, so it's...
Now, like I said, I think the line is crossed where any teams that are not in the league right now, I could see saying, you know what, we don't know what to, like, if you're a free agent, you really weren't with them or whatever. I could see you
oh my God.
having to pay. Right. Yeah. I could see you having to pay for the games, but somebody who's like actively on a team who's scouting, part of the player, the players do research. That's part of their job, is to research the players they're going to be playing against. And we kind of talked about that. Do the East teams maybe get an unfair advantage for watching a full month's worth of their potential opponents?
Oh, by the way, you just made me think about something.
Yeah.
Going to a different topic. In the game with Florida, the second game, they announced that there's going to be a mini tournament in Florida.
Yeah, but they didn't mention the teams. So,
well, they said 3 East teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's going to be a small series in Florida later on. I think it's in March, where it's going to be 4 teams playing a bunch of games in a weekend or a week or something like that.
They said round robin.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Are these non-sanctioned games?
No, these are league games.
But it's a tournament. But
I mean, that's what they called it, but
does it count for league standings? Does it count for their 12 games of the season?
They didn't get into that specific. Okay. So it might be either a tournament or a league games.
I want to know if somebody
TBD.
I want to know if somebody can punch someone without getting any retribution.
You probably can. I mean,
for a friend.
Yeah, it can happen.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Matt, like, going to sleep right now on air is probably our sign that we should go.
Yeah.
No, I was just getting comfy.
That's it.
Getting comfy. Although
well,
I have
everyone,
to
I appreciate it. No, this is the message I would like to get out to the league. We know you guys are doing things, and we know you're working on things, but you got to be fair across the board. You cannot be favoritism.
You got to be fair. You got to be transparent. You got to communicate with your fans, and you have to think of the fans first.
Mm-hmm.
And no more of this shit that happened in Florida. Please. It's absolutely unacceptable. There's games this weekend. Now, granted, both arenas have been in play, but there's games coming up later on in arenas that have not been played in yet. Get your shit together.
Pre-game show and a sound check beforehand. That's the way to go.
Yeah, we're not doing this to kind of like, we're here to help. We want to see the league grow. We want to see it flourish this year, and we're just trying to help.
Yeah, we love everything you're doing, and thank you for putting a season in. and we appreciate the work you're doing. But just here are some things that we would love to see fixed.
Yeah.
Ooh, and if Shelly could bring me some moonshine, that'd be great. Or
Oh.
send me moonshine.
If Shelly can talk to her audio guy and tell him that it's great that you have headset mics, but you still don't know what the hell you're doing as far as input gain. That would
I don't care about the audio. I want moonshine.
Well, if you have enough moonshine, you won't have to worry about the audio.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe those guys are on the moonshine.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm jealous.
I think we solved the problem.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, right. All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
First game's on Friday. We're gonna do this on Monday nights. So we will see you Monday, or we will see you in the box, in the Facebook,
Or in the chat. I'll be in the chat.
All right,
I'm never in the chat because I'm just watching on my TV, and every time
I know.
So here's a TV up here. Every time I look at my phone, somebody scores a goal.
He's traumatized.
Yeah.
Well. Oh.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Everybody have a good week.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.